What They Left Me to Forget. A story of mystery, discovery, and the unknown. Mara stood in front of the suite, her fingertips tracing the cool glass wall, the soft glow of the room's interior bathing her features. What happens next will change everything. Some secrets are better left buried, but the truth always finds a way. Like and subscribe for more stories like this one. Mara stood in front of the suite, her fingertips tracing the cool glass wall, the soft glow of the room's interior bathing her features. She watched as her client settled onto the plush couch, releasing a sigh that seemed to deflate her entire body. "Are you ready?" Mara asked gently. It was a question she had posed countless times before, but today it felt like an echo in a cave where only silence dwelled. Her client nodded, her eyes already beginning to glaze over with the numbing effects of the tranquilizer that awaited her. Mara smiled, reaching for the folder containing the client's case details. The name on the cover seemed distant, almost alien. Lila Reyes. "Layla, I want you to know we're here for you," Mara said, opening the folder and scanning its contents. "This process is about liberation, not erasure." She had uttered those words 1,000 times before, yet now they felt hollow, like a mantra devoid of meaning. Liberating? Liberation was what Mara used to believe. It had been her driving motivation when she'd first joined the Lethe Institute as a counselor. Now, though, the word tasted bitter on her tongue. Lila's loved one is. She paused, swallowing hard against the lump forming in her throat. Her son died tragically. The details were familiar to Mara, but today they seemed to cut deeper into her soul than ever before. Mara reached for a cup of water and offered it to Lila, who accepted with trembling hands. As the client took a sip, Mara's gaze wandered past her shoulder, toward the window that overlooked the cityscape. The towering skyscrapers stretched toward the gray sky like jagged teeth, each one a testament to humanity's relentless pursuit of advancement and progress. She thought back to Elliot, his warm smile, the way his eyes crinkled at the corners when he laughed. But the memory felt far away, shrouded in a fog that refused to lift. "Shall we proceed?" Mara asked, her voice barely above a whisper now. Lila nodded, and Mara began the intake process with practiced ease, guiding the client through the consent forms and medical checks. But inside, Mara was unraveling like a threadbare sweater, her thoughts tangled around memories she couldn't access and emotions she had locked away behind a veneer of clinical detachment. As Lila lay down on the couch, Mara's eyes drifted toward the corner of the room where her own personal belongings were stored. A man's coat that didn't belong to anyone she knew. 2 coffee mugs that seemed to multiply like clones whenever she looked at them, and a wedding band hanging from its chain around her neck. The jewelry had appeared in her life without explanation or invitation, yet it felt as if Elliot himself had placed it there. Memories long gone, leaving only an ache where they once belonged. And she knew what those echoes signified. After all, she'd spent countless nights treating clients for symptoms like hers. A sudden urge to flee overtook her, a desperate need to run from this room, from the clinic, and into the city beyond. But Mara remained rooted in place, her eyes fixed on Lila's still form beneath the soft light. The client was about to embark upon a journey of grief deletion, unaware of the price she would pay for liberation. As Mara watched, her mind began to fragment further, the name Elliot vanishing from her thoughts, like mist evaporating under the sun, the scent of him lemon verbena and wood smoke turning into the sterile aroma of the clinic's air fresheners. She was losing herself in a sea of forgetfulness, drowning in the very role she had once embraced with such conviction. And yet, there remained a part of Mara that refused to submit to this erasure, a spark of curiosity that yearned to uncover what lay beneath the surface of her own memories. Tonight, she would find out if it still burned bright enough to illuminate the darkness within which she had chosen to reside. Mara waited until Lila fell into a deep sleep before slipping out of the suite, her steps silent as she navigated the clinic's deserted corridors toward the basement. Her destination was sealed off behind thick steel doors, a place where the clinic's true work occurred, beyond the gleaming facade that promised peace and solace to those who could afford it. She approached one particular door, the metal cool beneath her fingertips when she pressed them against its surface. The nameplate read Vance Mara, but inside, she knew another truth waited, a record of memories she had paid to forget, buried deep within a digital vault. As she raised her hand to enter the passcode, a shiver ran down her spine. She was on the cusp of something, some truth that threatened to upend everything she thought she knew about herself and her role in this clinic. Mara paused, steeling herself for what lay ahead. She would uncover the secrets hidden behind these doors, no matter how painful they might be. For in this labyrinth of memory and desire, she was both hunter and prey, driven by a hunger to remember that which she had forgotten and a terror of what it might cost her to do so. Mara's fingers trembled as she typed the access code into the security panel. Her heart raced in anticipation of what secrets lay hidden beyond this door. Steeling herself, she pressed her palm against the scanner to complete the biometric identification. The heavy doors slid open with a hiss, revealing a dimly lit room filled with rows of humming servers and banks of blinking lights. The air was thick with the scent of ozone and burning plastics, a stark contrast to the sterile calm of the consultation suites upstairs. This was where the real work happened, the extraction of memories, desires, and identities. Mara's eyes widened as she scanned the racks of equipment. There, at the center of the room, stood a stainless steel table, its surface drenched in bloodstains long since sanitized but still visible to her trained gaze. Her breath caught in her throat. This was where Elliot had lain during his final hours, his life being systematically erased by the clinic's technicians. She approached the table slowly, as if fearing she might disturb some remnant of him still lingering there. Instead, what met her were cold steel and a sense of desolation, a feeling that echoed the emptiness inside herself. Mara pulled out her phone and opened the mirror file. The screen flickered to life, displaying a list of entries. She scrolled through them, each one a memory she had paid to forget. Elliot's first smile at her, their wedding day, the birth of their child. Her eyes welled with tears as she read through the catalog of moments they should have shared. And then there were the voice memos recordings Elliot made before his death. She selected the one marked for when you forget and pressed play. Mara, my love, remember that it's okay to let me go. I want you to live without this pain. That's why I chose to have these memories removed. The words hit her like a sledgehammer, forcing her to confront the truth she'd been running from. Don't blame yourself for loving me. Just know that I'll always be a part of you. The recording ended, and Mara felt a part of herself die, a shard of hope shattered by the weight of her own actions. She closed her eyes, allowing the tears to flow freely now as they should have done years ago. Mara took a deep breath and reached for the phone still clutched in her hand, the same device that had once held Elliot's voice memos, but now contained the recording of his final words. With trembling fingers, she hit delete, a single action that would erase any trace of their love from this world. But as she did so, a spark of defiance flared within her, the knowledge that she still possessed the memory of him in her heart and mind, even if it wasn't reflected on paper or stored digitally. Mara rose from the table and walked back to the door, leaving the sterile basement behind with its echoes of pain and loss. As she stepped out into the bright, clinical world above, she felt a sense of peace settle over her, a calm born, not of forgetting, but of acceptance. She knew the journey ahead would be long and arduous, filled with moments of anguish and heartbreak. She was ready to face it head-on, for in choosing to remember, Mara had discovered a strength within herself that she never knew existed, the power to forgive herself for her mistakes and find solace in the love they once shared. And so, as she returned to her role at the clinic, counseling others on how to erase their own pain, Mara carried with her the bittersweet memory of Elliot, a reminder of the beauty and brutality of human connection, and a determination to help heal others through the very act of remembering.